Oklahoma City's gone through a renaissance the last several years. Bricktown, the canal, the river, new buildings, a real exciting time. But during those same years, we've seen an increase in homelessness, unemployment, child abuse, and drug abuse. The list just goes on. Most people would consider those just lost causes, but I see it differently. I'm Dale Epperson, and welcome to Found Causes, from charities in our city that have provided real solutions to these problems. And we'll show you how you can make a difference in the lives of the less fortunate. We've taken care of the buildings in our city. Now let's take care of the soul of our city, the people.
Before I came to Willow Springs, I was living at a shelter for it was a detention youth shelter, you know, because me and my guardian, we couldn't get along and we always argued, so I ran away. I was getting to that age where I was growing up with my other brothers and sisters who were doing drugs and alcohol, and you know, they were getting in gangs, and I was eventually getting into that stuff at an early age, at 8 years old. I had my brother come pick me up and take me to my sister's house. And then I came to school the next day, and my guardian came pick me up, and she took me to the detention youth shelter. And then I was living there for about 2 months, and they told me about the boys' ranch, and I said I'd love to go because I really didn't want to go back with my guardian. And then I came out here and visited, and it was nice. I came out and visited one time, and I just loved it. I was like, Miguel, I want to be here with you. I want to come to the ranch. But at that time, they weren't taking early age kids, I think. But I think Todd made an exception, and I eventually came out here. I started 3rd grade. I got out of, you know, possibly being in a gang and possibly doing drugs.
I guess Willow Springs to me is family. My wife's family helped donate the property and some of the financing and the buildings, but my side of the family, my grandmother and her family grew up in Ryan, Oklahoma on a dairy called Willow Springs. They grew up in the Depression, and they were always helping other people when it wasn't easy or convenient, but they always had a heart for helping others and making other people better. And so I think that's really is what I see Willow Springs as, a place that guys can call family, that they can have an opportunity to be successful and to have a hope and a future.
For a family crisis, and our goal is really to give them an opportunity to develop the tools that they'll need to be successful now and later in life. We do that in a family environment. Each house that we have has house parents that their full-time job is to be parents to the boys in that family environment, so that they're learning about family and how safe families interact and do things and teach things.
Their stories are hard. Lots of death, lots of loss, prison, in and out of homes, abuse, neglect.
Being there and being consistent. We have some guys that come in, that they've come into the ranch, and it was hard to get them to take off their street clothes and put on pajamas or night clothes, because they were afraid if they took them off, they were going to be gone. Someone would take them. So I think it's earning trust, letting them know that we're always going to be here long term. I try to be without pretense with them and let them know. I try to be as real as I can be. If they bring me to tears, I cry, and I cry a lot. And I'm a girl and they're boys, and so it's different, but when you're listening to their stories, if you heard their stories, you would cry. And it would be, so that's how I try to get their trust, that they matter and their stories matter, and I'm a safe place. Now ultimately, I want to be able to go with them in a place where they can tap into their strengths and their stories make sense and they can find their resilience in there. But I do have to start at a place with trust. But one of the big things that we feel like are important to us is teaching guys about character, about work ethic, about responsibility, about how you treat women. Not just being a consumer, but also a giver. I mean, giving back to your community, to the people that you rub shoulders with. And Our mission statements for the ranch is Proverbs 22:6, and it's a real short verse, but it's long on application. It says, when you train up the child in the way he should go, it says, when he is old, he will not depart from it.
I think that was the main thing, just to always lay down your life and just not live for yourself, just to serve others. And I mean, that's what I really learned here at the ranch.
Jacob's Ladder is a place that corporate groups come out. We have Division I athletic groups from the University of Oklahoma come out and go through our ropes course doing team building and leadership. We're blessed to have the OU baseball team come out annually, and they'll do a half-day community service project. They'll come in and have a team meal with our guys on the ranch. They'll talk about character. They'll name their team captains there and why these young men became team captains. And so our guys get to hear a bunch of first-class coaches talk to some Division I athletes, and they're hitting on the same character points that what we're trying to instill in our young men.
7:37. Many college basketball teams, before kick off their season, they invite kids and fans for what is called Midnight Madness.
Right, but starting tonight, a Sacramento City Council member is bringing that to his district, but this time the event is for kids and teens. KCRA 3's Walt Gray explains.
It's the sound kids love to hear. Anytime is a good time for basketball, and a Sacramento City councilman hopes that time is every Friday night from 7 to midnight.
In the surrounding area here in the last 2 years, there was over 35 arrests of juveniles for doing things that they shouldn't be doing. And so I can't help to think that a positive activity like this is going to be another where kids can do as an alternative.
Starting tonight right here at the George Sim Community Center and Gym in South Sacramento, there will be basketball, volleyball, games, snacks, and movies. All boys and girls ages 13 to 19 can come out and enjoy supervised fun.
I think it would be good for kids. It's something they can do out of like the streets, and so it'd be good.
So you're looking forward to it?
Yeah.
This is amazing. Just first of all, to have a safe place for them to go, an option to go, that's a number one issue for us here, and then something fun, something they actually want to do.
Every Friday night here will be called the D6 Hotspot, named for McCarty's District 6. It's designed to get the kids off the streets at night. It's funded both privately and publicly, assisted by churches and labor unions. $40,000 was raised for the basketball program. So if your child is out late on a Friday night, maybe it's a good thing, as long as they're hanging out here.
So I was in the Oklahoma Army National Guard for 3 years. I was a platoon leader, and that's where I met my husband, Zach, who was also in the Army National Guard, but he was a full-time soldier. Well, I was excited when I had heard about the military mentoring program because I think my kids got a great benefit out of it when we were in Norman, Oklahoma. I was a single mom then, and they were matched with bigs that it was just great for them. So when we moved here, we don't have any family in the area. We don't have any long-term friends. I wanted the girls to have another adult that they could have just to themselves, that they would have fun with and could talk to. I just want my girls to have a fun childhood. I don't want them to be stressed out because their stepdad's gone for Army missions all the time. I want them to just enjoy being a kid. I think every military parent out there should sign their kid up for Big Brothers Big Sisters because it's been so great for my girls. I think military kids need it especially because of deployments and moving around constantly. Oftentimes we are single parents. We're playing that role of both mother and father, and also not having family locally, having other caring adults. And they say it takes a village to raise a child, and Big Brothers Big Sisters can fill that gap in for military families.